Good morning for those of you on the East Coast. I know we on all different time zones around here, but it is still morning for me, you guys. How is everybody? I'm going to give it a moment because I did not notify anyone of this live chat. But you guys should know by now, for those of you who have been around, I get in where I fit in. And that's why it's always great to be subscribed, to hit the bell. Okay, for those of you coming in, show some love. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Very easy way to show love on the channel. All right, you guys. So let's get into the topic here. I left, but I still feel stuck. This can happen, of course, when we're leaving out of any relationship, Um, many people have to learn how to properly get over a breakup, So in this video, you guys, I'm going to point out some of the things that, keep us feeling stuck after we left, because leaving is just step one. All right. Leaving is just step one. There's a whole lot of other things that we're going to have to take care of and mend within ourselves, before we can really feel balanced again. And hello, Jules A. Good morning from Los Angeles. Okay, so you up a little early? Yeah, just a little. It's not, I'm on the East Coast, so. Aw, California knows how to party. You know what, Jules, I always wanted to live in Calabasas, and I'm not ruling that out. I might make my way and be bi-coastal one day, okay? Always wanted to live or, have a property in Calabasas, okay? Love it. All right, but let's go ahead in the list, you guys. And I have a lot of things here that we could talk on. And, if anyone's struggling with this, just keep it real with yourself and take some self-inventory here and increase your self-awareness. And acknowledging things at least gives you the opportunity to try to find a solution, right? And Jules says, nice to catch you. Yes. And Calabasas is expensive. I know. California is the most expensive state to live in America, but it's all the way that you want to mentally look at that. Nothing's too expensive when you deserve to be there. I kind of like manifest things by, I can keep it real, but you know what? Expensive is all relative too, right? And he's probably like, nah, that shit is expensive. Expensive is expensive, Lakia. All right, you guys, let's get into the list here. I left, but I still feel stuck. What could be the blockage here? Or what's the resistance factor? Because this is a transition that you're going through. All right. And, when we're transitioning through anything, the best case scenario is for it to be smooth sailings, right? We want a smooth transition. We want to move forward. So let's talk about what these resistances can be. Number one, are you stuck in victim mentality? Are you stuck in victim mentality? There's an energy behind victim mentality. And for those of you who may not know what a victim mentality is exactly what the two words would suggest. Victim mentally. Are you stuck in that energy? Especially for those of you who left a narcissist or a toxic relationship. Initially you're going to feel extremely victimized to begin with, okay? Because they did prey on you. They did set you up. They were abusive towards you. So, yeah, on a certain level, you were victimized, you guys. But you can't stay in that energy. That's the thing. You can't stay in the victim mentality because, of course, you're going to feel stuck if you do that, you guys. So, it's better to look at those type of situations as experiences. It's something that I experienced, and there are some lessons that I'm going to take out of it to make me stronger. And that's, finding ways to basically empower yourself is what you have to do in those type of instances. Yes, they did that to me, but I'm standing here today. Yes, they did this to me, but I'm going to still be the victor. They're not going to stop me from living out the rest of my life. They're not going to block me from this and that, my blessings, basically. Because when you stand that victim mentality, like I said, there's an energy around that, you guys. And that energy is going to spill into everything that you're touching your hands on at that point. All right. And mental blockages will definitely make you feel stuck. So you have to find a way to empower yourself in these situations. Does it mean that you're lying to yourself? No. You can keep it real. The facts are the facts. They did X, Y, and Z, A, B, C to you. Yeah, these things, I did experience these things, but they're not going to be the end all be all in my life. That's not all she wrote. God's not finished with me. I'm going to overcome. I'm already overcoming it. I left the situation. I had the strength to still leave. I woke up today. I still have another chance at life. I'm restarting. As a matter of fact, I'm hitting the restart button. So just, find a way to empower yourself, you guys. If you're feeling stuck after a relationship, victim mentality. And for anyone that's watching this and it wasn't this traumatic thing and it wasn't a narcissist and you're just still feeling stuck, maybe it could be because they're the ones who, dumped you. You may have some issues with abandonment and rejection. And that can go for anyone, and then that's just you dealing with your ego and redefining what endings are, what rejections are, because these things aren't just black and white. Some people think of rejection as all negative. Some people think of endings as all negative. And these are things, once we're increasing our emotional maturity, we can have a different type of point of view on these types of things, right? So we got to get out of the victim mentality. We have to find a way to empower ourselves if we want to have a better transition. We can get real with the facts, but then, see the other facts of it as well. All right. And then I call that tunnel vision, when we're just only focusing on all of the negative experiences and how we felt defeated. But you're not defeated. You're actually really not defeated. You feel defeated. It doesn't really make you defeated, though. It can bring that defeated energy around you, right? And then it's going to start feeling like you have bad luck and you can't get nothing right, because it's a mental thing. The whole situation was very much mental, even if there were physical abuse involved. And it's the mental parts that you really have to work hard on. And that's why I always say, especially for those of you who believe you were in a narcissistic abusive relationship or extremely toxic at minimal, get some counseling. I offer coaching. You can come through me. You can get some through your insurance as well. Okay. There's all types of resources out there. Don't go at it alone. I even, take advantage of it when I need to in my life. When I left a narcissistic abusive relationship, I did 18 months with 2 therapists. Okay. I doubled up, baby. Because, my self-care, my peace of mind, everything that was valuable to me, and whatever it took, nothing was going to be too good for me at that point. And that's how you have to treat yourself. All right. The next thing on my list, you guys, is you haven't done enough shadow work. So, a lot of these things are going to be connected. So either you haven't done enough shadow work addressing the issues and the traumas and things that are probably deep rooted before you even got in this relationship. So you haven't done enough of it, or you haven't done it proficiently. Okay. So maybe you're attempting to do the shadow work, but you're not going about things the right way. And this is where a professional can help guide you through this. All right, you guys, the next thing that I have here on my list is you lost some hope, as far as believing for positivity in your life, believing that you can achieve things in your life. Let me give you an example. After having, maybe a lot of failed relationships and even narcissistic abusive ones, and then for those of you who have been in these relationships over and over and over, you might tell yourself, love ain't for me. No one's ever, I'm never going to have a wife. I'm never going to have a husband. You'll look at other couples and you see them, doing well. I wish I could have that. I'm never going to have that. It's not for me this lifetime. Losing hope based off of your past, or basically letting your past define your present and your future, which when we go into our emotional maturity is not even logical. Because number one, that's your past. It's something that has already happened before in the past. It doesn't mean that it has to happen to you now and moving forward. As a matter of fact, when we're dating proficiently, and then I know some of these are marriages and divorces as well, we take our lessons with us. It should make us actually stronger and wiser moving forward. So there should be shifts going on and we should be evolving anyway. And how can we lose hope if we still have life? You know what I'm saying? Like, God is still waking you up every day. There's no hope to be lost. It's time that you can be wasting holding on to the past and bringing that stale energy with you into your present, And like I said, this is all the mental blocks. And then it's still letting that other person win, because we can leave that person and still be mentally stuck in a prison, that they help create and that you're allowing to maintain around you. All right. So we definitely don't want to lose hope, and we want to still believe that, yeah, I can have what I want, just not with them. It's okay, you guys. I wanted to have that with them, but it wasn't meant to be with them. But I was meant to learn some lessons so that when I do find the person that I'm meant to have it with, we're going to have a healthier connection, because I learned some things of ways that I should be and shouldn't be, things that I have to work on. Hey, Chrissy C, welcome to the live chat, hon. So the next thing, you guys, and like I said, they're all interconnected. Your heart chakra is closed, okay? It's typical, especially when there's been extreme situations, extreme abuse, narcissistic abuse. You can check out. You can become a very numb person and feel even, detached, icy, and cold. Another element or elements that go with the heart chakra being closed is having fear, being afraid to open up again. Because a lot of you really went in. You're like, I really was riding with this person. I really put myself out there. I really gave it a chance, and they just stomped on it. But the key word is they stomped on your heart. They did. This is another person, you guys. So, that's one person, or it was those people. But there are billions of people, but you have to become better at, discerning people and their intentions and not prematurely attaching to people, right? But opening up that heart chakra, you got to get rid of that fear. And I told someone this in another live chat when they were saying, "Oh, I'm having a hard time trusting anybody anymore. I don't want to be vulnerable. I can't trust people. I have a problem with that." And I'm like, well, you just need to trust yourself. And I think, this can apply with the heart chakra concept as far as it being closed and reopening it. If you can trust yourself to guard your heart, in the Bible, it says everything flows from it. So if you're trusting yourself to protect your heart, you're trusting yourself to not prematurely attach to people. You're trusting yourself to set the appropriate boundaries. You're trusting yourself to bail on a situation. You're trusting yourself to see the red flags. Once you trust in yourself, you don't have to walk in fear with your heart, because you got you. I'm willing to give it a try with this person until they show me I shouldn't be. And because I did things appropriately and in a healthy manner, I haven't overly invested. I haven't jumped in too fast. Okay, and I can leave. And even if I did give them a chance and things went a certain, the relationship progressed to a certain level, and now it's our time, I'm seeing that it's toxic and it's not the one, I can keep a healthy perspective because we were just dating. I understand, even if it was a year later. So you don't have to close your heart chakra, and understand that the connection of doing that and losing hope as well. Because if you're closed, how are you going to get it? The very thing that you want, you're closing yourself out from it. You still want it, even though it's closed. So you're just going against yourself at that point, and you're not allowing yourself the opportunities. You can still have what you want. You can still have what you want, you guys, just not with them. But you can't have it if you can't even, open yourself up. That's just like saying, I went on one job interview, they chose someone else over me. Oh, I guess I just won't work for the rest of my life. I guess I won't have a career. I'm not going to apply anywhere else. Come on. You got to keep staying out there. You got to keep hitting that pavement, baby. All right. So really be careful about that. And then also anxiety with the heart chakra being closed. I can mention that here. And all the what ifs, overthinking things. Well, what if they do what the last person did? What if they don't? What if they don't? All right. So also I'll mention here, just watch those negative word spells that we're doing. And like I said, it's energy that we're bringing around us. Like I said, love ain't for me and all this other stuff. Stop talking to yourself that way. It's going to be so important to just stop talking to yourself that way and say the opposite. Even if you don't feel that way, understand the power in putting that out there and choose. Filter yourself. Think before you talk. Think before you talk and choose to say other things, and start writing it every day. And especially if you don't feel that way, find a way to incorporate this into your daily life where you're writing it down each day. I deserve love. I'm surrounded by love. And it starts with you anyway. If you have appropriate self-love, you're already surrounded by love to begin with. If you're connected to the source, oh my God, that is the most divine, deepest love right there. So, these are truths anyway, whether you're seeing it or not. All right. So, yes, please be careful of those word spells that you're putting on your own self. That narcissist and that hater that left you, that want to see you broke, busted, and disgusted, that wants to see you stuck and not having, not moving on and getting what you deserve, to feel like you need to go back to them and this and that. Yeah, they already putting their own word spells on your life. That's why they'll try to tell you, oh, nobody else is ever going to want you and you're not this or that, trying to feel like, they're busting you down, chopping at your self-esteem or whatever they feel like you have left of it. Yeah, so it's enough people, enough jealous, envious people who don't want to see you get what you deserve. But that's their personal problem, right? That's their problem and not yours. All right. So make sure that you are speaking life and light into your situation, because there's been enough darkness thrown at you, especially coming out of those type of situations. And yes, Anne Marie, you're right. You're going to raise your frequency at that point. All right. So yeah, we don't want to be stuck in the past and bringing that into the present. So the next thing that I want to say, you guys, about feeling stuck is some of you are dating wrong, because you can feel stuck even though you left the person and you're out dating and mingling with other people. And why is that? Because you may be using the same methods, you may be going about things the same way. And for some of you, you have a type, and it is a toxic type, honey, and you're going to have to change that type. And let me give you some examples. This could be someone that looks good, but they're a really shallow person. Maybe it's a guy that has money, but he's a freaking jerk. You know what I mean? So you might have to change your type. And some of you want to hold on to that type so bad, but what has it gotten you? The same type of energy playing out in these people with just different faces and names, and that's what you want to make a shift in. You want to make a shift in that. All right. So I don't want you guys out here dating wrong. And I also don't want you out here looking to build, because that's what happens. You'll go, let's take a guy, for instance. He will say, you know what? She got the face. She got the look that I want. Now I just need her insides to match. I'll make her grow to love me, and I'll make her grow to respect me, and these type of things. So a person is who they are, no matter what they look like on the outside, you know? And if you want to date intelligently, meet people where they are and then decide if that's good enough for you right then and there. Meet them exactly where they are. We're not building Bob the Builders and building Betsy's and all of this and that. No, this is how you have to start going about it, especially for those of you who experience narcissistic abuse. It should be incredibly risky to go meet a grown-ass adult in 2021 and try to alter them and change them. Number one, do you know how hard it is for people to change? How hard is it for you to even change your damn self? Okay, you have such a hard time changing yourself, but yet you want to go out and change other people. Look at how hard it is for you to even make changes. Okay. So you got to meet people where they are and then just decide if it's a deal breaker or not. All right. But you have to even understand that's another part of dating wrong when you go back out here of what are your deal breakers? Have you even taken a moment to really, really self reflect, you guys, after the last situation and all of those situations? Like, you know what? I'm done repeating these cycles. I'm going to turn over a new leaf here. I'm going to have a fresh start. And I really want to sit down and really, really analyze the way that I've been moving and shaking in my life. If I want to get to whatever this end goal is, that I still deserve to have, what about me do I need to change and work on? What do I need to stop doing? All right. What do I need to, understand about what are my boundaries? What are my breakers? What am I even looking for at this point in my life? So just really, having a plan too. Because if you don't have a plan, you could plan to fail. And a lot of people, and some of my survivors, they're just excellent in the business world. But when it comes to the matters of the heart, honey, you know, we're too relaxed on that. So treat it just almost like a business here. I'm not telling you not to have emotions, but have some type of structure, have some type of plan with this. Like, what am I even going out here and dating for? Am I just trying to fill a void because I'm not with the narcissist anymore? Am I really in a place where I'm ready to devote time, energy to someone else? Or do I need to be a little selfish right now and devote that time and energy to myself? Do I still need that for myself right now? Am I still working on me right now? Because people ain't going nowhere. Because the last I checked, there's billions of people on the earth and people are reproducing left and right. Okay. So you're not going to run out of people. They're not going anywhere. All right. So we just got to be mindful about dating wrong. Okay. And getting into the same cycle and doing things exactly the way you were doing it in the past, and then wondering why you're getting those same results. All right. Something has to be, we have to reevaluate how we're going about things. All right. And the next thing that I have under that, you guys, is just being simply unwilling to change patterns, toxic behaviors, toxic choices, and thought processes. Just being unwilling to change. And then maybe not even having the awareness, maybe you're not even aware of the patterns that you're doing. And this is why it's really great. A lot of people that come to coaching with me, they'll get to coaching through healing with the narcissist, and then they'll come back, oh, Coach Lakia, I found someone, and I'm so nervous. Walk me through this. Or just having someone to help them be accountable where they could check in and be like, okay, this is how I'm feeling right now. This is where we're at. What are you thinking? Like, just having someone to help hold their hands a little bit through that, especially the first time after the narcissistic abuse or toxic relationship. So yeah, you have to be willing to change, you guys, because the change is what's going to get you, that different result, obviously, right? All right. And then we already I've been sprinkling this in through all of them, but, redefining your terms, your boundaries and your standards, what you're going for. And it doesn't matter how much time of your life that you spent accepting less. and feeling unworthy and allowing people to not meet you where you need them to be and reciprocate. I don't care. I've said this in other videos. You could have just been doing that before this live chat, but you can make a decision right now. Hey, I'm never going to accept that again. I'm not going back to that. I'm going to shake that energy and let it go right now. Release it. So redefine your terms, you guys, and don't feel like, and I've said this in the dating videos, that next person don't need to know that you got drugged through the mud and this and that. They don't need to know all of that. All they need to know is the person you are today, right here and now. They don't need to know that. And with that being said, you guys, I don't want you guys to have the wrong perceptions about who you are. And I say that don't take this the wrong way, and I'm about to curse. So if you don't want to hear it, but I'm just going to say, remember who the fuck you are. Because when you're dealing with toxic people, they're always going to tell you the opposite of who you are. You need to know that. If they were telling you you're ugly, you're beautiful. Because trust me, why the fuck would they have wanted you? Okay? If you understand how narcissists work, they go for shiny things. They want people that they can extract from because they have needs and voids that they're trying to fill. So you got something, but you have to remember who you are, not based on how somebody else treated you, not based on what someone else didn't acknowledge or see about you, but from who you know yourself to be. And that may mean that some of you just need to really reconnect with yourself to determine who you are. Because when you're in codependent relationships, and that's what you are in, when you're with a narcissist and in these toxic relationships, is codependent. There's not a lot of individuality going on here, and you lose yourself in those relationships. Or, you're losing the independence. You're not losing yourself per se, because you're still here, but the independence of yourself, of what makes you separate from them. A lot of times that falls by the wayside, and your productivity in that type of way is extremely tainted, which is why narcissists, a lot of times they're just distractions on a certain level. I'm just saying on a certain level, because they're not able to distract you unless there's some lesson that you need to learn about not letting people distract you, not letting people, come in between your peace, not letting people come and steal right in front of your eyes. Isn't it crazy when we just really sit back and think about this person was stealing right in front of your eyes, and, just being blind in the moment by your ignorance. It's okay to say that. Not knowing any better, because that's all ignorance really means. You didn't know any better. So you have to remember who you are. And for some of you, that means redefining as well. But just thinking of the source and what the source, thinks of you, what God thinks of you, the love that he has, how precious you are to him. All right? Because you guys, you have beautiful hearts and souls and spirits. You do. You're real kings and queens. And when you know that, you need to have the proper perceptions. If you are, think about this. If you're really a queen, and if you are really a king, there's not kings and queens around every corner. So you can't be getting your heart broken when you go out here and 9 out of the 10 people are not a king or a queen. There aren't kings and queens everywhere, first of all. So you're going to have to be patient to get that special person that is truly worthy to come into your life and truly worthy to sit at a table here. Because kings and queens aren't everywhere. They're not everywhere. So you have to understand that when you are special like that, when you have all that to offer somebody, that's not typical. That's not everybody. That's special. That's special. So you have to wait for that special person and pray to your God and trust in his divine timing at that point. All right. So you got to remember who you are. That's why you're not for everybody. You're not for everybody. All right, you guys. So the next thing is some of you might be still waiting for closure, waiting for them to apologize. I don't think so. Waiting for them to, come give you the closure on this or that. I don't think so. You have to give that to yourself. And the best way is through therapy. All right. Can't be waiting for them on closure. You're waiting for a toxic person to give something that they can't have or give something that they don't have to give. All right. The next thing, you guys, a lot of you may be feeling stuck because being alone is lonely to you. And that's codependent energy, generally speaking. All right. So a lot of things can happen here. We can go into hermit mode where we're just closing out the world, or we can go into that extremely codependent energy and just throw ourselves out there. And we're rushing and bombarding ourselves with new connections and energies when we're still dealing with ourselves. All right. So at that point, we may be moving too fast. Usually survivors will go to one end of the spectrum or the other. And it's really just finding the balance here. And that's going to be different for each person, and listening to yourself and allowing things to just flow. Like, I don't need to rush the process here. I mean, yes, when I feel ready to interact with others in a certain way, I'll do it. But until then, I'm content with where I need to be because I'm just going with the natural flow of things. I'm not trying to force anything. All right. And a lot of times we have to learn how to refill voids because what were we doing in the past? A lot of times we got in those other relationships because we were filling voids improperly to begin with. So be careful if you were doing that. All right. So yeah. So knowing alone versus lonely. You don't have to cut off the whole world and, like I said, closing your heart chakra even to your own family or friends. I talk about romantic, but love comes in all types of forms. Okay. We love our pets. We love our friends and family. We love what we have passions for in our careers. And, there's all types of things we have love for. So if you're feeling lonely, it could mean that you may be too closed out and you need to start letting love flow to you, including yourself. All right. And then make sure that your life wasn't just revolved around that one person, which it might have been. But now that they're removed, now you have all this space and energy and time that you can be putting into yourself. You might have to, I write so much stuff down. I'm not like Jay-Z. He doesn't write stuff down. Your girl writes things down. And I even have this thing for collecting beautiful notebooks. I'm like such a sucker for it. If I see a pretty notepad I got to have it. I got to have it. My daughter told me the other day when we were in Target, she's like, Mom, that's enough. You have enough of them. I was like, no, I'm going to write something beautiful in this. So yeah, but either way, get a paper out, you guys. If you don't have a bucket list, make one. Reconnect with yourself. What are things that you want to do that you haven't done? I want to get a sewing machine myself because I want to make myself some jeans. I've always wanted to learn sign language. There's so many things that we can get into. And I know for my guy listeners, they're not gonna like Lakia, don't get too feminine. But I've taken my makeup game up like twice over because I really wanted to learn how to do certain things. And I learned about all types of products that I never knew about. I'm just getting into things that I want to get into. And there's nothing wrong with that, you guys. There's all types of hobbies and, things that you want to get into. So make a list if you have to. Or, I used to play clarinet. I played it all the way up to the 12th grade. I was in a marching band, a concert band. And I always told myself I wanted to get another clarinet and start playing again. So, just think about your essence and what you enjoy to do. It'll get to the point where you might get lost in yourself. Like I could totally get lost in myself. So you don't want to go too far into the spectrum. Of course, we got to have a balance here, but there's nothing wrong with being able to enjoy your own company and getting back into the things that make you guys happy and peaceful, or expanding your mind, or anything that you want to learn about. All right. And that's called leveling up too, right? So the next thing, you guys, I want to say is sometimes inaction is what's keeping you stuck. Like, what are you doing? You're going through the motions. Like, you got to do something. Move. You got to have some type of motion here, and in moving forward, you have to take some type of action. So inaction can be what's keeping you stuck, you guys. All right. So, make sure that you're actually doing something, not counterproductively, not just moping around, not just always allowing yourself. And I know, like, we have moments, especially for those of you with the narcissistic abuse, where they're saying, like, you were soul raped, basically, right? There's some heavy trauma here going on. And there may be days that you don't want to get out of bed. You don't want to do this and that. And I'll say this. It's finding a balance, of course. In the beginning, okay, I understand you might have those moments, but you want to see a progression where those moments are getting shorter to where you're not having them at all. It's the same thing that I teach people with the panic attacks, because I used to suffer from those right after I healed. Well, we're not healed, but right after I got out of the narcissistic abusive relationship, I started having panic attacks. And it was because all the trauma that I had experienced, I really needed to work on that. And the more work that I did with that, the shorter the panic attacks got, to the point where it's been years since I've had a panic attack. Okay. I went from having my worst panic attack, which lasts for like 3 hours, you guys, to not having any. So it was a symptom of other things that were going on that needed to be addressed. And the more that I faced those things and dealt with them psychologically and subconsciously, my body didn't need to let it manifest in that type of way. Because you can push things down all you want, but just like I say, that beach ball that gets pushed to the bottom of a pool, when you let that sucker go, it's gonna just fly through that water, baby. So it's better to just deal with things appropriately. If not, your body's going to find some type of way. They're like, whoa, I don't know what she or he is thinking. They're pushing this down in us. We got to have an outlet too. Well, I guess they'll have a panic attack because we can't hold any more of this. You know what I'm saying? Your body has to have a relief too. So, yeah, we got to take an action, you guys, because bottling things up and just sitting in it only increases the energy. And even then, like I said, it's going to come out. And these panic attacks, you don't get to choose when they come, baby. And that's why one of the books that I wrote for survivors who have experienced sexual abuse, called Silent Tears, there's, everything that I do has some type of meaning in it that's deeper than what meets the eyes. I called that book Silent Tears because I was working at the time. And when the panic attacks would come from my own traumas, I would be crying at my desk, and the people around me wouldn't know this. They were silent tears, you guys, because I tried to be really discreet about it, as I didn't want people to know that I was doing this. And I was very discreet about it, and I never got caught. But I had so many silent tears at work. The panic attacks would come at like the most untimely times. And one time I was just shopping at a grocery store and came out, and I had to pull my cart to the side of the road because it hit me again. So yeah, you don't get to choose. That's the other thing. You'll lose control of when you're dealing with the situation, when you just try to avoid it and run from it, basically. Or, sometimes it's subconscious and you may not even know. That's why it can be helpful to have a therapist help you to, unpack these things. And as you're unpacking them, you're taking them outside of yourself, right? And then you're able to address it and break it down that way. All right. Because none of us, like Erykah Badu said, we don't want to be the bag lady. Okay. And it weighs you down, you guys, in more than one way. All right. And with that being said, you guys, the next thing that I have here on my list is just not having the clarity. but to understand, you don't get the clarity unless you seek it. So if you come to a channel like this, you're obviously trying to seek the clarity. So that's definitely a beautiful start, you guys. But clarity will let you know where you are, where you need to be, and what you should be focused on right now. And so much peace comes with clarity. It's kind of like when you pray to God for an answer and He reveals it to you, you got your clarity and you have a lot of peace. And when God reveals and says, you know what? You did the right thing. That was supposed to end. How peaceful does it feel when you don't have that inner turmoil inside of you about the ending even occurring? No, you're in your right path. That you were supposed to release that. You did the right thing, you know? And a lot of you may be feeling stuck because you may still have a little push and pull inside of you for whatever reason. Whether you have some delusions, illusions, or maybe they tried to love bomb you. Okay, maybe they try to come back, because they do that. And I'm going to make a refresher video on that, because I'll probably be back on here 1 or 2 more times today. And I'll do some other live chats with other themes to help you guys, along the lines of this. But you got to seek that clarity, and so much peace of mind comes with it. All right. All right. And we talked about having a plan, because I had to mention it earlier, so I kind of jumped ahead here. But I just want to point out, it doesn't mean to be overly calculating, and it's not like on a narcissist scale of being sneaky. Okay. It's just knowing what you're doing right now and why you're doing it and how you ideally would like to go about doing that. Okay. So the next thing, this is a big one, you guys. When you're feeling stuck in these situations, ultimately, you haven't shook the energy. There's something energetically about that situation that's a little bit too strong around you. And it's, causing you to feel stuck. Now, there's a lot of ways that we can shake energy. And on this channel, we're very open-minded, and I give you guys suggestions. So if you're a closed-minded person, this channel does not work that well for you. But if you're willing to just give something to try to see if what it does for you, hey, you might find that something works for you. So I've made videos about clearing energy. I've made one video on this channel about clearing energy, and you're definitely welcome to look at that. But some of the suggestions that I had was, cleansing your space of this person's items, saging your home, perhaps doing a spiritual cleansings, because this is a spiritual attack that you're having here. We talk about the 3D world and what this person is doing and this and that, but ultimately it's attacking your spirit and your soul. So spiritually cleansing your home, sea salt is a great way in your mop and your pail. Sea salt, a little Florida water. This is a great way. Scrub your floors and walls. My pastor even told me one day, honey, get you some olive oil and put some crosses around your home, and we're going to pray and bless it. Like, just finding a way to spiritually cleanse your space and spiritually cleanse your body, because, narcissists, they're full of demons, and you were in bed. You were literally sleeping with the enemy. Yeah. For those of you who are in a sexual relationship, but also, just understanding that you had contact with demons here, and they don't like to leave, which is why you might even feel even stronger pull when you try to get rid of that energy, that there's a demon that don't want to see you get loose. There's a bondage that's occurring here, you guys, spiritually, and you can't see it with your human eyes, but you're going to feel it. And it doesn't want to see you get free, because demons need a vessel. They need a body to get inside of and, do what it wants to do. It needs a human body to do it for them. So yeah, you might need to take or just start researching spiritual baths and showers, for those of you who have a preference, a spiritual shower. Okay. I love lighting white candles and setting intentions, just learning how to set an intention. And this is why we talked about those word spells earlier. just learning how to set intentions over your life. So yeah, there's a lot of things that you guys can do. I get into crystals as well. Crystals that are supposed to, bring energies around you. It's a good idea. I put frankincense essential oil behind my ears. That's something that's really good to protect your energy. So it's all types of things. It's a whole world of, and this is something, the things that I'm telling you right now is something called a shaman might tell you. And this is a person that could help you heal your spirit and your soul issues. Okay. And thank you, Elizabeth Jane, for your $20 super chat. And you're welcome, sweetie. Yeah, but ultimately there's something energetically that needs to be shook, you guys. And like I tell you, there's things, I'll give you every advantage. I think I said maybe 3 videos ago that I recommended for those of you who don't to get a natal chart done. And under that video, I did leave a link. I'll leave one here to an astrologer that's really good at that. And for some of you, you might be a little closed-minded about this, but if I'm telling you, it's for a good reason. And I highly recommend it. All right. So the next thing I have here, you guys, is make sure that you are taking your spiritual lessons and that you are actually feeding your soul, because going out and dating and everything, that's more so 3D and feeding your flesh. So make sure that you are in this process feeding your soul, because you will feel stuck if you're just only dealing with your physical body and you're not dealing enough with the spiritual aspects of things. All right, you guys, feed your soul and your spirit, whether it means that you need to start learning how to meditate now. Maybe you might learn how to become a prayer warrior. Learning how to pray, and becoming a prayer warrior, that's awesome. And that's a wonderful way to actually speak light and love into your life and, have the source work with you, and that increases the strength and the energy behind that. But yeah, feeding your spirit and your soul, you guys, because these are spiritual lessons. And then knowing what the spiritual lesson is. Was the spiritual lesson, I need to love myself first, or I can't love a relationship more than I love myself? Whatever that spiritual lesson is, that you weren't loving yourself, or people can't love me for me. Whatever that spiritual lesson is, you can't overgive. As a matter of fact, when you're of the light, he's not going to let you do certain things, and he will discipline you, as a matter of fact. And he'll cause the blockages, and he will allow that person to betray you so hard that you won't be able to go back. But that's just to protect you. It's to protect you. He's like, okay, now this person can take their lessons if they choose to, but we all have free will. We have free will to go back and repeat a cycle, or we have free wills to say, you know what? No, I'm leveling up. I'm elevating. I'm progressing. And then, they just become the sideline people. They have to watch from the sideline, because everything that God didn't want them to be blessed with you with, he's going to start giving that to you. And people are really going to be jealous and envious, but that's a personal problem. And they don't know what you've been through and what prices you had to pay to get where you are. All right. So let me go back, you guys, and read through the comments, because I really just wanted to get it out there. Aw. So, hey, Lorene Harvey, I hope you are well. And Grandma JJ, I see all your comments as well. All right. So Grandma JJ says, I've been doing chakra clearing meditation all night to help me 30-day challenge. Awesome. I mean, that's not going to be negative. It's not going to be negative. Get out in nature too. Like, especially now, especially springtime is coming and things are blooming. Okay, we're going to get hot and spicy this summer, you guys. I'm turning 40 this summer and I'm going to be cutting up. I'm going to be cutting up. I'm having some type of birthday party. I haven't made it definitive yet, but it will be in August. So I'm excited. Grace Kelly says, yes, 3 years later, that's me. Okay. Anne Marie says, yes, our love empowerment energy, which is the light, is the highest vibrational frequency that attracts these dark demons. Yeah. But it also will attract, higher vibrational people too. You just have to use your wisdom. And you have to understand when you're about something, when you got it going on, of course you're going to attract users and manipulators. That's just like being the biggest bank in the world and not thinking that someone wouldn't try to rob you or get a heist. Everybody wants it, but you have to much is given, much is required. And usually God doesn't elevate you and give you these things without giving you the tools necessary to protect it. All right. Grace Kelly says, just wanted to say thank you. You're great, and I really appreciate you. You're welcome, Grace. And I know your name is very familiar. I know you've been with me here on the channel for a while. Thank you for your support. Yep. Grandma JJ says, do not share your past with anyone you date. Is not any of their business. Right. It was for your spiritual growth and involvement. Let's see. I'm just going through the comments, you guys. I see 2 people talking. Aw. Elizabeth says, I think you're describing the point of self-responsibility. Yeah. Yeah. And that's a way of empowerment when you could take that self-responsibility, hon. Because then, it's not, and the responsibility isn't placed, number one, in a toxic person's hand, the narcissist or the toxic person who can't handle the responsibility, right? Because you tried to give them responsibility of your heart and your relationship, all these things, and they drop the ball. It's too much anyway. But some things we'll find that isn't anybody else's responsibility but ours, right? Yeah. Awesome. Grandma JJ, she's done with her panic attacks. Awesome. Awesome. Oh, yeah. Tammy says she went 2 years, no contact, and then messed up. And then sometimes what I'll say is and they bank on this. They think, let some time go by and then I'll come back and present myself as a changed person. But here's the thing, you guys, if you really believe that that person was a narcissist, I don't care how much time goes by, you don't never go back to that. Okay, I don't care. And even if they're less narcissistic, if they are a better person, okay, good for you. Maybe, Tammy, you were part of making that person better, a better person for someone else. Oh, well, but not for me. It should be extremely risky, you guys. Do not look back. Do not go back. Do not go back. I don't care how much time went by. If you really feel that was a narcissist, never go back. And you can't forget how they move, you guys. Of course, they're going to come and try to love bomb you, And the CV247 said, like Medea said, when people show you who they are, believe them. Yes. And I actually believe Maya Angelou said it first, baby. And then Tyler Perry, he took a hold of that. But absolutely, when people show you who they are, believe it. That should be like a mantra, because that is really a big deal for all of us. How many times did we minimize or let it slide or turn a blind eye to, or giving people too many chances to begin with? That we have to stop. And that's a part of us taking that self-inventory and, understanding what our boundaries are and taking those lessons moving forward. Pink Pixie. Aw. Pink is my favorite color, by the way. Thank you for all your help on my healing journey. Your voice is comforting too. Thank you, sweetie. So Anne Marie says, I did enjoy the power of having control over others, especially my teachers and adults that were in authoritative positions. Then I began to manipulate and seduce men for personal gain. Okie dokie, hun. Yeah. Yeah, some people do have that, and that's very ego-driven, Anne. Very ego-driven. But since you said you did enjoy, I don't know if you still do, or if you're working on that. Jules A says, what is the difference between a narcissist and a person ignorant on their behalf? Oh, so you want to know what's the difference between a narcissist and a person who's ignorant? Well, empathy and a willing to take accountability. So if someone's ignorant on something and you shed light on it, and if they're willing to be open and honest about it, and then actually make the change, that's the difference right there. If they're empathetic about their ignorance, like, oh my God, I was raised to do that, or this is all I've ever known. Or, if they felt bad, like sincerely felt bad for the ignorance of whatever it was, and then they have a shift and a change, that's the difference right there. Narcissists, they're not looking to take accountability. They struggle with empathy. And depending on where they are in the spectrum, they just have none. They just have absolutely none. Okay. So yeah. Narcissists aren't looking to change for the better. They're looking to further develop being manipulative and taking advantage of and, getting out of. So that's the difference right there. CB247 says, yes, TP, acknowledge that. Yeah, awesome. All right, you guys. So we're coming up on an hour for this live chat. It was great spending time with you. I hope that, this was a nice self-reflective, therapeutic live chat, if you will. There's plenty of other live chats, you guys. If you enjoy hearing me talk, feel free to, go back to any of my previous ones, and over 800 videos here on this channel. I lost count at this point. Take what you can to help you on your journey, you guys. But the whole idea here is you left. So congratulations on that, first and foremost. But you don't have to feel stuck. So I'm sure, with all of these things that we mentioned, that you can get to the root of the problem and, unblock yourself. Unblock yourself. All right, you guys, if you have no other questions or concerns, I'm going to go ahead and end this live chat, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure you hit the like button, share these videos, you guys. Feel free to leave comments, all of that. I do read them all. And thank you guys for all the love and support that you show on this channel. All right, you guys, never give up on yourself. Take care of yourself. Until next time, take care.